Looks like possible monkeypox I want to test for.
Monkeypox?
You're wetting me!
No.
He needs no introduction. As he said himself, he's from Brownsville, New York.
I'm from Brownsville!
And on his TikTok page, he's known for traveling the world. He's been to the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. He's been to Paris in France. And on his TikTok page, you'll notice he always tags everything Hulu Chippendale dance, because he genuinely believes if he does not tag every single video with that hashtag, he will get absolutely no views. Now, I've covered Joshua Block many times. The quick rundown is basically he was someone that used to cover a bunch of like coffee reviews, very wholesome content. He's obviously got some kind of learning disability, and now he's became a full-blown alcoholic, mostly because people on TikTok have been egging him on, but also people around him as well. He's had very scumbag managers, like this one guy, Michael Quinn, and his more recent manager, a guy called Mr. Based, who keeps trying to rizz up women every chance he gets.
You're the first person ever that ever got it.
Do I get a kiss for that?
Mr. Based is not a joke, by the way. That is his actual name. I'm not sure if he knows what the word based means, but to be fair, most people don't know what the word based means. It actually came from Little B, the bass god.
Little B, bass god.
But recently, Josh chose to go to the country of Puerto Rico.
I don't know what's going on with Puerto Rico. Every time I take an Uber, I just end up in the middle of nowhere.
And also the Dominican Republic. Now, during this time, something was starting to appear on Josh's skin. Now, there was a lot of game theories about this. I mean, some people even speculated, you know, they're very hot countries. The sun's always out. Those UV rays are really dangerous. Maybe he just wasn't taking care of himself and wearing any kind of SPF to cover his skin. I will get back to the insane rash situation a little bit later, but there have been a lot of weird things happening with Josh recently. Now, Mr. Based is manager. Everyone hates this guy. He just seems like an absolute scumbag, and whenever he's not taking advantage of Josh for clip farming reasons, he's basically just trying to rizz up any woman he finds.
Oh my god, sorry. Okay. My personal one. Okay, bye you guys.
Oh, God bless. Nice meeting you.
And it really seems that Mr. Based is trying to catch every single instance of Josh on camera to like monetize it or to clip it or to stick it on TikTok, to the point that Josh never really has a moment off camera.
Turn it off.
God's block. It didn't TikTok anymore.
Turn it off. You can't stream. No. What are you? No. Get out of the store. No.
Josh is sniffing me. Josh is assaulting me.
So they're two firemen and their friend that's even bigger than them? What advice?
I mean, a great example is on Mr. Basted's official TikTok account, you have a clip of him basically assuming that Josh's rash is because of monkeypox.
Looks like possible monkeypox I want to test for.
Are you sick? Monkeypox?
I just want to
Oh,
make
yeah,
sure.
test for it.
Let me
Holy-
test for it.
Do you know? Have you heard of monkeypox?
Bro is patient zero.
If you didn't know, monkeypox is a disease that's doing rounds at the minute. I think they've just found like a case in Sweden, and loads of people are basically going to say that this is like lockdown 2.0. And even though the nurse in that video asks Mr. Bass to stop filming,
No, you
Wait, can you stop taping me?
he pretends to stop, but basically says to his mate, keep going until the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, of course, of course.
you.
of
What
course.
would be the?
Here, do you not turn this off at the 1 minute point? Thank you.
Yeah.
At the 1 minute.
Well, You're not.
How long-
it
where did
has
you
to-
go?
It has to be.
No, we're turning off, but where did you go to medical school? We're just curious. We have OCD.
Long Island University.
I love that school.
Okay.
God bless you.
There.
I'm 57. I graduated in 85.
Which is really funny because he might be the only person on earth that cares about mid-roll ads more than a YouTuber. I've said this loads of times in the past, by the way, but the way TikTok works is there's a creator fund, basically the same as getting ads on YouTube. And if you get a video over 1 minute, that's the equivalent of getting a YouTube video to over 8 minutes. So basically you get like double or triple the payout. That's why, if you've noticed scrolling through TikTok, every single video is always a minute long. I usually just comment like 1 minute Andy and then just move on. So after Josh's vacation, we've got some more close-ups of his face, and whatever rash he has on his face has intensified a lot. Now, Josh's skin rash could not have come at a worse time, because a lot of people genuinely thought he was like patient zero for monkeypox, because at the minute, it doesn't seem that the disease is in America at all. But obviously, Josh having this skin rash and, you know, coinciding with monkeypox now being everywhere in the news, it's really bad timing. I mean, even if you go into the comment sections of pretty much any video of Josh where he shows his face, people are just immediately calling it scarlet rot. And there's another clip as well that's really uncomfortable, and you've got Mr. Based basically just shoving his camera into Josh's face, like just, you know, interrogating him on a bunch of questions just while the guy's just trying to eat.
Josh, quick question. So we were just in the doctor's office, and she said that she thinks you had monkeypox. What was your initial reaction?
I was like, I hope not.
Did she scare the shit out of us?
I got a little shaken.
Who was more scared, you or me?
Me.
I think you were.
It all just comes across as like really exploitative and invasive. Like I said loads and loads of times, I started off this series covering Joshua just thinking, Lamau, that's hilarious. He's getting drunk in New York every day. But as I've gone on with the series, I just feel more and more bad for the guy. He's obviously being taken advantage of by really scummy people. But one of the bigger questions a lot of people have been wondering about, what does Josh actually have? What is this rash that's like started on his face? And it's now basically spread to all over his body. You know, everyone's been making the Scarlet Rot joke in the comments, but, you know, this could be a rash, this could be eczema. Some people have even said scabies. I've even seen some comments pointing out that this could be track marks, like he's doing hard drugs. That is definitely not the case, by the way. I think Josh's biggest vices at the minute is drinking and basically doing 2 packs of Zins a day. Now, there's a character that's been involved in the World of T-Shirts cinematic universe recently that could be a force for good. Allow me to introduce How Envy. So if you don't know this person, he basically went viral a year ago on TikTok by doing these like ironic videos where he basically acted like his room was a complete mess and he hired maids to come and clean them.
I hired maids to come clean my room. As a Roblox streamer, my room gets really messy sometimes, so I decided to finally hire some maids. This is before the cleaning. They even brought their own vacuum. That'll be helpful. They're already hard at work. She's doing a great job of cleaning my room. They did make me pay extra because they said it was very messy. They even got rid of that little orange circle in my toilet. Voila! Look at this. It's like walking into a brand new house. It doesn't even feel like my room anymore. It feels like I'm living in a fever dream where I never existed.
Now, this guy is also a professional Roblox streamer, and I think has also actually appeared on Fish Tank as well. But while he would walk around New York, he actually bumped into Joshua Block and would do content with him.
We are live on Mr. Based NYC on YouTube.
I mean, there's one clip of Pow Envy as well where he's talking to Josh, and you can see that Josh doesn't look healthy, man. Like, 2016 Pyro would have thrown some funny insults here, but, you know, his teeth are yellow. He's got this rash all over his face. He looks incredibly washed out, probably just from battering his kidney and his liver from alcohol abuse every single day. I mean, honestly, I've seen game theories going around that the reason why he has such a bad rash is because of his alcoholism. This could be his kidneys or liver just like packing in. And if not that, his immune system would probably be lowered by battering himself so much with alcohol to the point that this could be just a mild infection. But because half of his body just isn't even working at full capacity, it's just turned into a full-blown infection. I think one thing that's really slimy about that clip as well is while they're just talking, Mr. Based is circling like a vulture, making sure he gets as much content as possible. Now, most people kind of thought, haha, that's a funny interaction. That's pretty much the end of it. But then Pow Envy, less than a day ago of recording this video, uploaded an entire 5-minute video talking about the situation with Mr. Based and Josh and how he feels that Josh is just in a really bad spot. The guy needs serious help.
I wanted to talk about the World of T-Shirts and Mr. Based drama. I have been talking about it on my lives, but I know that a lot of people can't tune into lives, so I'm putting it here in video form so people can rewind and hear the whole story. So basically, I want to start by saying Joshua Block, I've got no problems with him. He's a great guy. I think he's just in a terrible situation with horrible influences surrounding him. I've got some bullet points here. I'm just going to start listing them off about why Mr. Based is a manipulator and just genuinely a pretty bad guy to be around. I don't want anyone to attack anyone, obviously, you know, blah, 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 whatever. Mr. Based often says that he doesn't encourage Josh to drink. This is one of the main things that people have an issue with, is they think that Mr. Based encourages Josh, aka World of T-Shirts, to drink. Because obviously Josh is, he's on the autism spectrum and he's suffering from alcoholism. This is just not true. Josh is actively encouraged by Mr. Based to drink. I saw it firsthand, and people often see it firsthand on his own live streams.
Now, I'm really happy that he said this because I myself have seen multiple times that Mr. Based does get Josh to drink. He pushes it on him. It's not even like he keeps alcohol lying around and he just, you know, he's kind of passive around it, like not really very assertive. He will pressure Josh to drink, saying, you know, oh, you want a little drink? You want to take the edge off? I remember one point when Josh was doing like a DJ set in a previous video that I covered, and you can see that Mr. Based is like offering him a drink and Josh is turning it down. He's like, no, I don't want to drink. And that's really bad. Like, if the alcoholic or the supposed alcoholic is turning down alcohol because he knows it's jeopardizing his career. At the time, he was doing like a little DJ thing. I'm not even sure if he was being paid for it, but he was holding down a job. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Like how many scumbags there are living in New York.
It was 2 p.m. I was walking around the street with them, and Jason is Mr. Based, suggested that we stop at a mart and pick up some Twisted Teas. And on the way to the mart, he was encouraging that I start drinking, even though I've been sober for years and I like being sober. He was saying that wouldn't it be so funny if you started drinking on the streams? People would love it.
Now, I cannot imagine anything more evil than pressuring someone who has been admittedly sober for years to start drinking. You know, the most that should really happen is an apology. Like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I didn't know. Anyways, there's always a really huge stigma around people that, like, go teetotal and they're sober. Like, they're, you know, almost like they're the vegans of the liquid world. You know, that they're just not going to shut up about it and they make it their entire personality. Like, I know a lot of people that are completely teetotal, and there's... You know, they're not missing out. You know, you go to a restaurant, you go to a bar, there are loads and loads of menus that'll have like mocktails and stuff. So you can act like you're drinking a regular drink and I guess like fitting in. I mean, there's like 0 alcohol beers and stuff. Personally, I don't really get it because I've had 0 alcohol beers before and it basically is just like the taste of beer and the calories, but no buzz. But to be fair, I mostly just cope with sparkling water every single day. But it goes to show that Mr. Bass does not care about the people that he's with. He does not try to accommodate them. It's like, oh, you're sober? You haven't been drinking for years? You know what? You should get drunk for content. That'd be really funny. That would help me a lot. I would get a lot of views on that, on my TikTok, and then Josh's. And then it'd be clip farmed everywhere.
When really, it's just him trying to prop up circus animals, getting people to crash out for his own financial gain. Because he makes a lot of money off of people sending TTSs, text-to-speech, when, you know, the chat is read out loud. Sending these messages to people just to call them disabled, losers, stuff like this. He makes money off of that. And he doesn't pay fairly.
Now, I'll let you in on a little secret here. I don't think people realize how much of a killing streamers make off text-to-speech. Now, I have a text-to-speech service at the minute. It's using like an AI software. So basically, it can emulate, you know, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Shadow the Hedgehog. Basically, even Moist Critical. People donate to my streams pretending to be Charlie, being like, haha, beat you to a topic again. And it's a self-fulfilling cycle, right? Because someone sends a dono. If I think it's funny, I'll react to it. I'll probably be, you know, clip farming mode. And then someone sent me $10. They've paid that for the message. None of that goes to YouTube. It all goes straight to my PayPal. And then as well, there's a clip that could possibly be turned into content. So it's a great way to not only get yourself shared online and clipped, but also a stable income. Every single stream that I do, I make basically no money off Super Chat, no money from people becoming members, but through the text-to-speech, that is where I probably make 80% of all the income I make from streaming is solely from the text-to-speech software. The thing is,
Pyramids of Giza are here.
now, I do pay a guy to keep that running for me, like upkeep and stuff like that, so I think that's totally fair. But I watch Mr. Bass streams with Josh, and this guy is being sent like $10, $20, $50 donos every couple of minutes. He would be making at least $1,000, if not more, per stream doing that. And Pow Envy is totally right. None of these donos are nice. It's like watching a lolcow stream, like Boogie or Only Use Me Blade or something. It's people they've surrounded themselves around people that want nothing but the worst for them. So every single dono will just be mocking them. But Mr. Bass doesn't care. He doesn't tell them to shut up. And if he does, it's probably for a clip farming moment, because they know any negative interaction will be shared to keep Josh on the map, because the biggest fear that these people have right now is falling off. So they'll take any kind of attention they get online, even if it's negative attention.
Joshua Block often stays in hotels, right? He doesn't really like having a place to stay, is what Mr. Bass told me anyway. He doesn't like having a place to stay. So Mr. Bass gets him a hotel room every other night or so. For $300 a night, you know, mid-tier hotel, not lavish, not terrible, just a mid-tier hotel. $300 a night, and Mr. Bass is making upwards of $3,000 a night streaming with Josh. So he's giving Josh 10% of the money he's making by letting people make fun of Josh to his face. Now, Mr. Bass often says that Josh gets half of his money.
So yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel that watching these World of T-Shirts streams with Mr. Based, it basically is like they're getting donos every couple of seconds. So that amount of revenue being made is probably true. And the disgusting fact is how Mr. Based is basically paying Josh the bare minimum. He's like giving him a hotel room so he can basically... This is the thought process I have, right? He's not paying him a hotel to take care of him, to be nice. He's paying him just so Josh can sleep off the alcohol to be ready for another stream the next day to then do it all over again. It's a cycle where no one benefits except Mr. Based.
But from what I saw, that just cannot be true. It cannot be true. Because Josh is walking around in the same clothes all day, owns like one suitcase because he lives in hotels. I don't know where the money's going then. Where's the money going then? You know?
Now, this is an interesting case because I do wonder where the money goes that Josh has, because even if Josh is being paid minimum, he would have some money to play around with, right? Now, obviously, he's spending an insane amount of money on alcohol. We've had, you know, channels like the Drink Tracker that's now inactive, and there's a bunch of like copycats that have sprouted out. I talked about the Drink Tracker a long time ago, and this was basically someone that would try to estimate how much Josh was drinking per day, how much his blood alcohol was going up, how much money he was spending, and how many calories he would actually ingest every day.
Captain's definitely hitting a PR today. It all starts at 3 p.m. with a tall tweet. That's going to be 2 standard drinks, $5, and 400 calories. It's 4 p.m. and the captain has a vodka cranberry for 1.5 standard drinks. And of course, the only logical thing to do after that is to have a Jaeger bomb for another standard drink. You're not going to believe this. 10 p.m. He has a shot of fire is already beyond gone. That's it.
I've seen loads of people bring that up as well. Like, if Josh is drinking around 3,000 calories a day in alcohol alone, not even including food, how come he actually hasn't put on any weight? He's still very skinny. Well, that's mostly because he walks around every day. He's streaming every day. He's probably walking well over 10, 20,000 steps a day. And more importantly as well, the guy like barely ever eats. I think he basically eats once a day, because Josh is someone who documents every aspect of his TikTok life, because even though he might not get that many views, it'll still add up, and he probably gets around like $5,000 to $10,000 every single month. But one thing I did notice is the restaurants that Josh goes to, they do seem quite lavish. They do seem quite expensive. And to be fair, eating out in general in restaurants that isn't fast food, that is crazy expensive. And obviously Josh is not an independent person. We've never seen the guy cook for himself. I'm not even sure if he can cook. Maybe in his earlier content when he was reviewing coffee before he went down, like, you know, the alcohol rabbit hole, maybe then he used to cook, which is really sad because that could open up the door to another timeline where Josh was just an amazing cook instead of being an alcoholic. But then again, he probably wouldn't be anywhere near as famous on TikTok. But I do think a large amount of Josh's money does go onto alcohol. Probably Zins as well. I'm not sure how Zins work in America. I'm not sure if they're taxed like cigarettes. But while he's drinking, he's probably easily going through 1 to 2 packs of those every single day. You know, because alcohol slows everything down, right? It makes you stupid. And then when you get a stimulant like nicotine, it's not going to hit as hard because you've been drinking. So you're going to end up taking more. But from gleaming through his videos, the only real thing I can see him spending his money on is food. Now, he eats out every day. I'm pretty sure every single TikTok once a day he's eating out, especially when he was in Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. And on top of that as well, he does also travel around the world a lot. So I think that's where the money goes. I think he just blows all of it on like economy tickets to go to other countries and then eating out every day as well. Because, you know, if you're an alcoholic, you got time to cook for yourself? Hell no. Every time you wake up, it's probably already like midday or 1 in the afternoon. You're like mad depressed. Serotonin and dopamine have been leached out of your brain. The last thing you want to do is like, you know, go in the fridge and like start cooking or go grocery shopping to even begin the process of that. You're just going to go out and eat.
I did see Mr. Based spending $80 on a rock while also telling me that giving me more than $100 for streaming with him for 3 days was just really a lot of money. Sorry, you know, that's just a lot of money.
Imagine enduring the negative aura of Mr. Based for an entire day, and then you only get $100 as reparations.
Well, to be fair, he did pay me $300. He gave me $100 for the 3 different times I appeared on his stream, which goes to show that he doesn't really like paying people fairly. And I think that reflects on how he's probably paying Josh. Obviously, I'm speculating. I don't know the exact financial situation, but from what I saw, it doesn't seem reasonable to believe that Josh is getting half of the money. When Colin, a big TikToker Colin was with us, Colin Myers, Mr. Based actually told him to his face, "You make more than me, so I'm not going to pay you anything." That is what he did. He didn't pay Colin anything, even though Colin spent 7 hours of his time filming and streaming with Mr. Based for Mr. Based's content. Me and Colin had plans to go visit Wall Street and do videos there, and we had to cancel those plans to go film with Mr. Based just for him to not pay us, or not pay Colin. I got $100, lucky me. So from my experience with Mr. Based, he doesn't really care about people as long as he's getting money. That's just the vibe I get from him, and it's a vibe that a lot of people have shared with me, and it's what kind of opened my eyes to that idea. I actually, talking about this on my stream, I had someone reach out to me who posts clips for Mr. Based, and he told me that Mr. Based blocked his number and stopped paying him because he owed him money. Mr. Based stopped, just never paid this guy. He paid him crap.
Now, that's interesting that Mr. Based is actually using people to clip farm for him because, again, like, this is what a lot of people do to become famous online. Because I've said a million times, you know, like, YouTube is not the way to grow now. You start off on places like TikTok, like Instagram Reels. You get those viral clips. I mean, every streamer that's blew up in the past year, Jinxie, iShowSpeed, Queso, all these people only became famous not through their content, but more the fact that people would clip their content and post it in compilations, like TikToks, like these compilations on YouTube of clips that made iShowSpeed famous. They didn't blow up because of them. They blew up because of people clipping their content and sharing it around. And a lot of people have caught on to this. I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm holier than thou. I mean, myself, I pay a guy to run the Pyrocynical TV channel, which is basically just a VOD highlight channel, but then also run my Instagram Reels and my TikTok as well for, you know, those little clips that go viral. One example that I've seen that is genius is Tyler Oliveira. If you've seen this guy, he just goes to, you know, like bad places in America, which is everywhere, or bad places in the world, which is everywhere. And, you know, he documents stuff. He goes around, asks people, you know, pretty loaded questions. A lot of people have pointed out saying it's like poverty tourism. There's a whole video. We can get into that. But what he's done, which is very smart, he actually gets his fan base to clip his content for him. So here, for example, there's actually a community post. And what this guy basically does is he'll upload a video and then he will ask people to make clips of him. So what he'll do is make a video, upload it, put it behind a Patreon paywall, but then after that, he'll basically ask his community, can you clip my video? Can you clip my video, put it on TikTok and share it around? And if you win, you get $500. Now, what I think is very, very smart here, and it gives a positive feedback loop, is the fact that $500 is not for the best edited TikTok, it's whichever one gets the most amount of views. And as you know, getting a banger on like TikTok or Instagram or on YouTube, a lot of it can be RNG, but I find it very clever how he's gifting people money that get the most amount of views, therefore gaining him the most amount of exposure as opposed to like the best edited one. It creates that positive feedback loop of a bunch of people wanting to get the best viewed TikTok to get the $500, which in turn puts him on the map, gets people talking about Tyler and, you know, gets him more exposure. Now, I'm not pointing that out to say like the guy's a scumbag or anything. I personally don't actually see anything wrong with it. I think it's incredibly smart and I wish I had the idea myself. But the point I'm trying to make is it goes to show how obsessed people are with trying to blow up on TikTok, because that is the biggest social media app at the minute.
So Mr. Bass basically found Josh, an autistic alcoholic, and instead of seeing a guy who needs help, he saw $sign. And he's been making a lot of money off of Josh, and it's really sad to see. I really hope Josh, it really makes me sad. I've got a lot of autistic people in my life who I'm close with. I've got a lot of alcoholics in my life who, luckily, a lot of them have gotten better. I know for a fact if they were around someone like Mr. Bass, they would have never gotten the help they needed. That guy is just not, that guy's poison. He really is. He wants people to drink. He wants people to do all these bad things because he thinks that it's good for his content. He thinks it's good for his bank account. And that's just the kind of person he is. I don't really hate people. I don't hate Mr. Bass, but I don't think that he should be taking care of Josh. And also, as a final note, he view bots. It's clear. Bro's not pulling 30K viewers. He's probably pulling like 300. We had 800 viewers on a stream talking about Mr. Bass, and the chat was moving so much faster than his was. It is what it is, but not in an ego way. It's just, you know, the guy hypes himself up. He acts like he's the king of New York, and he's really just some guy taking advantage of a poor autistic kid. It's really that simple. That's about it.
Now, one thing I do want to point out is the fact that he made that entire video completely 100% unironically. I mean, he basically just, you know, pointed out all the facts. And also, this is the guy, keep in mind, known for having incredibly long, greasy hair, saying how a maid is going to clean up his room and how he's a Roblox streamer. But like here, he completely breaks character and he just talks about how Josh like is in a really bad situation and he's being taken advantage of by a complete scumbag. Now, checking his most recent TikTok, it seems that he's going to actually go back to New York now. I think he's going to do like a conference confrontation with Mr. Beast, because you can actually see a text message he's got with Mr. Beast, and he's actually threatening him saying, "Watch your mouth, little boy." And it basically ends with him saying that he's going to go back to New York. So there could be a huge showdown there. Who knows? Now, thankfully, there does seem to be a resolution with Josh's skin problem, because the Roblox streamer that I mentioned earlier actually had the idea to take Josh to, you know, a doctor's to see what was wrong with him. And then obviously after the whole like monkeypox scare, which is basically just clip farming in a nutshell, he has been prescribed steroid cream. So hopefully we're going to see that rash go down.
So I'm gonna be on steroid cream.
You're gonna get jacked.
And then obviously what happened straight afterwards is Mr. Beast made his own TikTok basically claiming that he is the entire reason that Josh is even seeking any kind of medical treatment.
Hi, this is Mr. Beast and Josh Block. We're at the doctor right now at like MedMD. Mayor Flanagan is paying for it. We can't thank him enough. You want to thank him?
Thanks so much, Flanagan.
Now, surprisingly, I saw a lot of people actually saying, "Oh, Mr. Beast is so based. He's helping Josh." It's like, I mean, yes, he's taking him to the doctors. Wow, that's great. He walked him up the road during a stream. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, this guy deserves like a Peabody Award. But why do you think he's even trying to help Josh out? So he can make more content with the guy. If Josh keels over and goes into a coma, that sucks. Why? Because that's really bad and this could have been preventable? No, because I can't make content and I can't clip farm him anymore. Now, this account I've been going through, World of Based NYC. I'm pretty sure this is Mr. Beast's like backup account, is like clip farming account. Everyone trying to say that like he likes Josh and he's trying to support him. And there's slow news days like this where he basically just makes an entire TikTok of him picking his nose and eating it on stream. If anything, that just reminds me of compilations on YouTube of like Wings of Redemption sniffing his fingers.
Ew.
There's been other clips as well that are just like painful to watch. I mean, one, for example, they captioned World of Riz, and you can see Josh walking up the street with two women. Just like, I don't even think it's Riz. I think it's just him actually trying to have a conversation with someone. But because of the world he's surrounded in right now, how toxic it is with all the people trying to take advantage, people are just going to assume he's trying to, you know, get mad Riz.
If you go to Japan and you turn yourself in, they'll deport you to South Korea instead of North Korea. That's true. But if you sneak into China or Russia, they'll send you back to North Korea.
Oh yeah, and to the three people in the comment section, which is probably Mr. Beast and his two alt accounts, saying that he did help Josh, he's a nice person, you know, he took him to the doctors to get steroid cream for his rash. Then why is there a video that he posted himself of him smoking inside the doctor's office and then lighting one up for Josh?
Rockstars break rules, right?
Bro is not getting checked out
Have you ever
today.
smoked in a doctor's office before?
No.
I thought I was going to wrap up the video here saying how sad the situation is, but we actually have a surprise guest. So Sneeko has apparently been talking about Mr. Beast and the World of T-shirt stuff on stream a lot, and one of Sneeko's fans actually managed to show up to Mr. Beast's house and just completely embarrass himself. It's so obvious that this guy had, you know, a great idea. I'm going to storm in there. I'm going to make sure I save Joshua Block, carry him over my shoulder like the firemen carry, and escape him from this living nightmare. Only for the guy to just completely freeze up on the door and get rejected on stream. It is a painful watch.
Are you streaming right now?
Are you a TikToker?
No. I just wanted to talk, but if you're on stream, I would rather not talk on stream, if that's okay.
What do you want to talk about, young man?
I'm one of Sneeko's people.
Sneeko?
Can you mute?
Oh, yeah. Hold on one second. Get the fuck out of here. Motherfucker, I'm one of Sneeko's people?
No, everyone in the comments is roasting him, saying like, I hate Mr. Beast, but this was based. And oh, this is such a redeeming Mr. Beast moment. But that being said, I do kind of feel bad for the guy because, you know, I do feel like he had good intentions. But yeah, it's like you go to someone as content brain as Mr. Beast and then you tell him to stop streaming. Like, he's not going to listen to you, little bro. Like, I'm sorry. Why would he do that? Why would he turn off the camera and listen to you? You could tell the guy was definitely a little bit on edge as soon as he came to the door. Like, he wasn't really ready for the confrontation. He's, you know, doing the classic self-soothing technique of like, you know, holding your arms, but yeah, it's just a painful watch, really painful watch. But it could mean that we possibly might be getting Sneeko in the World of T-shirt cinematic universe. So to wrap up the video, you're probably wondering, what is Josh up to right now? Like right now, this minute? Well, at the time of recording, about 7 hours ago, he was in a bar singing a song completely off key, probably drunk. Apparently as well, Josh is selling World of T-shirts koozies, so little holders that you can put your alcohol in. So he really is just giving into the whole perspective that he is just a full-blown alcoholic. He even actually got a tattoo on stream the other day of a martini glass. And there was one final update posted about Josh basically saying that he's only gonna stream outside, going ahead with Mr. Based if he has some kind of security team.
So I've established some new rules about Mr. Bass streaming. Mr. Bass can only stream outside of his home when our security team is with us, and no streaming in bars.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I can find on the World of T-shirts update, but it's getting wild. Like, I feel like covering Josh, I've been covering him for about 7 months. I feel like he was kind of like a niche thing at the minute, but ever since he's got in contact with Mr. Based, his like e-fame has supercharged. Like there are so many different people from so many different communities all talking about the guy now. Like I said a couple of videos ago when I covered him, this was posted on my subreddit, the Parasitical subreddit.
From Reddit.
There was someone that found Josh in public and they had no idea that this guy existed. They just knew it was the person that I talked about in my videos.
Where's my wallet? Oh my god. Dude, it's World of T-shirts. Where's my wallet? I'd watch like parasitical videos on this guy.
But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on the World of T-shirt situation. I mean, I said this a couple of videos ago, but I still do have the idea of traveling down to New York and doing like an intervention with Josh. But again, it's like, how do you do it? How do you stage something like that? Like he unfortunately, this Mr. Bass guy is attached at the hip with him, and he would not want Josh to get any kind of help, because if he gets help, that sucks. He'll be at rehab. You can't film in a rehab. That sucks. There's no content there. There's no clip farming.